How is everybody? Why isn't my board here? Where is my board? Where is my board? Why isn't my board showing? Why is this happening to me? Come on. Come on. Okay, there we have it. How is everybody? Let's see. Let's put this here, and let's open everything. Very unprepared. Hi Laura. Hi Christian. No, I don't have a Discord channel. I should, right? I should have a Discord, but I don't. Let me see if I can switch things here. Okay, hope I haven't broken anything. This one goes there. Go Tartakower, you got this. Well, actually, this is the second game. Wait, hold on a second. There we go. This is the first one that I wanted to show you. But Tartakower didn't have this. No, he didn't have it. He lost that game. And what's wrong? Something moved with my board here, and I don't like it. Why do things move here? My board is not completely showing. And this is... what? Okay, please excuse me for a second while I fix my board. There we go. Much better. Much better now. There we go. Hello, Pond Marsh Destroyer. Sylvia, he says. Nobody calls me Sylvia. Yes. Evening. Game not found. Well, now I know who Sylvia is. It's funny because when I was young, I didn't know who Sylvia was. When we were in school, teachers would call me Sylvia because it's the first name. But I wouldn't answer most of the times. But now I know who Sylvia is. Because it's also the name that's easier to pronounce. So many times, at least in Spain, I go by Sylvia sometimes. So I don't give people headaches. So like, okay, what's your name? Okay, Sylvia. Hi. Hello and hello. Okay, so I have some games for you today. I promised that I will be back with the games. I have only 2 games, but I think you're going to like it. It's not going to be a long stream because it's kind of late today. I couldn't get myself around to streaming earlier, but I will be looking at more than just 2 games of Capablanca because I already have a couple of ideas for games that I haven't included today. And I want to show you. There are some very nice ideas he has. This game that I want to show you first is a game that you probably know. I don't know if you know the whole game, but you probably know the ending to this game. You probably have seen the tactic many times, and that's one of the reasons why I included it. Because it's so famous. So, here we go. Knight f3. I'm not going to insist very much on the opening. I think there are just some moments later. And then here d4. Bishop d7. Okay, I think this is quite natural here. Rook e1. Pawn takes, knight takes. Bishop takes b5, knight takes. Here black castles. This is all fine for black. Knight c3. And here queen c3 and here c6. Okay, this c6 I think is probably unnecessary. You probably haven't heard of him, but you know the final position. I'm sure you have seen it before. It's in every puzzle book. I don't know if it's not even in the woodpecker, the final position in the woodpecker method. I think it is. So here black goes this c6. I don't know about this c6. No, the c7 pawn is hanging, but on the other hand, c6 gives a weakness on d6. I think, okay, here queen d7 seems like another way of defending this pawn, because I think if queen c7, this one here is hanging and the queen on e7 looks kind of funny, right? we can look a little bit at this, but it doesn't look right. Queen c7 here, here, and here I'm thinking something like rook e8 I was thinking, but d6 is hanging, so maybe I want to defend that first, maybe with something like queen c6, and I don't know how this queen is coming out of e7. Then rook e8 is coming. Queen c3 is very nice, yeah. Queen c3 is a multifunctional move. You make space for the knight and you attack c7, and if the opponent goes wrong, then good for him, no? I think that black has enough compensation here, right? Okay, white is probably not losing the queen. There's bishop f4, but rook d8. So how is this? How is this position? Just rook d8 here, and I want rook e8. There's rook d1, I guess, and I think e5 has to be played sooner rather than later. But I'm still wondering what happens on rook e8, no? Just losing the queen. It's funny, I haven't looked at this line before, so I'm just discovering it here with you. But looking at the game, I noticed that the pawn on d6 was a problem later. So that's how I got the idea of maybe not playing c6 here with black. But maybe I got, yeah, I'm losing the queen, but maybe I'm getting enough pieces, right? e5, rook e8, I'll take on f6. That's like, what, a knight and a rook, and I already have a pawn. So maybe there is some compensation here, but it looks very dangerous. I don't think white would have gone for this, for queen takes c7. And of course knight takes c7 shouldn't work because of rook c8. Pinning the knight and winning the knight. So no to that. Probably knight d4 is the move that white would have played. 5 plus 3 minus 9 is minus 1. Yeah, for sure. Black is better in that position. Simple math. Knight d4 is probably the move that white should have played. Well, white would have played with the idea similar like in the game, knight f5, but without a pawn on c6 is a little different, like a little better for black than in the game. So here I could play rook e8, and the line that I will show you in the game is not the same. So knight f5, here I would go bishop f8. Does knight h6 work? I think I can play king h8 on knight h6. On knight h6, what about king h8? I don't have to take, no? Yeah, this is fine because now f7 is defended. So this looks okay for black, and it's probably what he should have played. But he went c6, and now Capablanca goes to d4, and this was his idea. And from d4 he's going to f5. So in this position, black is not lost or anything, but I think his position is already difficult because of this knight going to f5 and hitting on so many targets. It looks like one way of playing, okay, maybe one way of playing is g6, but that also looks a little weakening. Allows me bishop h6, the dark squares are a little weakened, but rook e8 felt like a natural move, and this is a move that I looked at thinking that I could drop my bishop back to f8 on knight f5, but then I discovered that this is not so easy. So this is a common idea, right? We know it from many openings. Put this bishop here, but now after bishop g5, what is black going to do about this pin? The only move to not lose on the spot is rook e6. And I think black's pieces are not so natural, no? I want a rook lift. I think maybe rook this rook is going to g6 eventually. If I'm going to be able to get my knight out of f6. But it's definitely not easy, because whenever this queen goes away, and this is the point, maybe not to a5, I don't want to lose the queen, but to b6. So let's say that here I play, I don't know, natural move could be rook d1. Not so natural because I'm losing this pawn, eh? I don't want to be losing pawns either. So the point is that if I take, black takes here, yeah. So I have to do something about e4 then. Hold on a second, I'm discovering a whole new idea here. So rook d1, maybe I play bishop, yeah, I play bishop h4 because on knight e4 now I can take it. Right, I can take it, right? I can take it. So then I'm taking the queen. But what my point was that here a move like queen b6, this is what I wanted to say, does not work so well because I have knight h6. I think the pawn on e4 is going to hurt. You should probably care about the health of that pawn in particular. The one on e4 is quite important, no? So this is an idea that white has, and he didn't have in the lines before with the queen on d7, where black kind of has an extra tempo compared to this. But here I think he should be very close to winning because g takes h6, bishop f6. I would be very scared of playing this position with black. Like really scared of playing with black here. Probably getting mated very soon. I have to take here. And this is not something that I like very much. So it's not an easy position to play, in my opinion here. Knight f5, bishop f8, and bishop g5. Rook e6. And on bishop h4, I don't know, not rook d1, we said bishop h4. What about queen d7, no? Maybe queen d7 is the answer in this position. But still, I think white is doing well here. So my pawn on e4 is hanging. I have to defend it with something like f3 and then rook d1, and I think Capablanca would have been very happy in this position with a weakness on d6 to attack. The bishop is probably going to g3. It feels like white's pieces are better coordinated. Of course, there's still a lot to play for, but I like white's position here. So I was being told that here bishop g5, so in this line queen d7, and here we were looking at, okay, you're suggesting bishop g5 like after knight d4, no? Yeah, bishop f8, bishop g5 here, yeah, but knight e4 again, wait, the knight's not pinned anymore. No, this is going to hurt knight e4 here, so we have to defend this pawn first. f3 maybe. Yeah, but now I have an extra move compared to the other line. So the bishop is not on g5 anymore, there's no rook d1 coming, so maybe here I can use this. I can play d5 and challenge the knight on f5. It's definitely, this position is definitely much better compared to what happened in the game, or what could have happened in the game, which is here, and the idea with knight f5 and bishop g5 here. It's funny how one single move can change the position so much, at least how it feels. So in the game he actually played knight d7, and this move is I think one of the first mistakes. Not the final mistake, but after this move white gets a lot of pressure. So knight f5, bishop f6. This was black's idea, but okay, the queen on g3 is doing great. Looking at d6, looking at g7. Now bishop f4. Everything's very nice here. Rook d1, rook d8, and this is a very important position. So this is where everything starts to unfold. So we're going to take a break here. What are we going to do with white in this position? Let's see. Don't know if I haven't shown this game before. I'm very curious. Maybe someone remembers. Because I feel like I've shown this position before, but maybe I'm just H4 super GM move. Yes, H4 super GM move. That's oops, that was water on my computer. That's water on my computer. Excuse me for a second while I'll try to save my computer. Yep, everything moves because I'm cleaning the water. Okay, now I'm back. And the water is gone. Computer saved, I think. I think computer has been saved. More time for you to think. It was bound to happen. It was bound to happen. At some point. Okay. If I suddenly disappear, you know why. I only think the water is gone. Yeah, that's my problem. My problem is I have no more water in my my glass. It's still there. It's just a glass, not the whole water bottle. I could have. Oh, it's there, the water. I think it's not, but it's there. You're right. It's there. It's under the keypad. Oh no. So what do we play here? Yeah, please do send an electrician if I'm suddenly disappearing. Yeah, see you in a few weeks when I buy a new computer. Okay, so we're gonna go for H4. We're going to go for C4 with the idea of C5. It's not salt water, no. You think it will be fine? My computer will not just die, no? Because it went all over the keypad. So I'm afraid it might get where it shouldn't. Thank God I have I have paper here with me. Napkins. So C4 with the idea of C5. Okay, let's see. How's C4 with the idea of C5 here? And can I take on C4? You probably want to take on D6. Can that... I need to turn off the computer. Well, I hope it lasts for another hour. And I hope it didn't go very far. Okay. Yes, it's just there. That's where it went. Over my keyboard. Sorry. So C4, and if I take, oh, let's see this. If I take, you want to play, I'm on a laptop. You want to play bishop h6? I thought you want to take on d6 because looks very good. This looks very good. Why not this? I thought this was kind of winning. Am I still okay if I'm on a laptop? That's different, yeah. That's a little different. Just a little different. I will pray. I think knight d6 looks very close to winning. Do I need bishop h6? So bishop h6, and the point is that I take on g7. Ah, okay, this one's also winning, no? Because I have to play g6 and you take on f8, I guess. Okay, this one's also winning. But I thought, yeah, I understand the point. But I thought this one's easier. That was my first thought. Okay, so on c4 I cannot take. And you want to play c5, which looks very dangerous to me. So let's say rook e8 to defend my knight. Something like rook e8. I think that c5 doesn't work anymore because I lose this. This is not losing anymore, I mean, the knight is defended on e5. But this should also be okay. How dangerous c5? Yeah, I think c5, d takes c5 isn't dangerous anymore. Oh, you're saying that it wasn't dangerous at all, so I didn't need to defend? Like c5, I'll take... Nothing interesting happening there with knight g7. No, nothing there. Takes, queen takes, nothing interesting happening there. Well, maybe not so... Rook d8 and rook d8, no? c5, d takes c5. Why? What's going on here? D takes c5, rook d8. Why is this so bad? For black, I mean. Knight h6, I can go king h8. And bishop e5, I can go queen e5. Okay, bishop e5, queen e5, knight h6. But I have king f8 in that case. I have king f8. Right? I don't have to go to h8. This is fine. Doesn't look so dangerous. Yeah, it looks like we defend everything. I think so too. I think c4 is could be an idea. Maybe c5 is at some point a threat, but we don't need to rush with c5 because there are so many ways we can improve the position here. And we did get the super GM move here, h4. But why do you play h4? What is the point of h4? h4, h5, h6 idea. Okay, that's what I thought too. To be honest, that's also what I thought. That we're playing h4 to go h5 and h6. But it's deeper than that. h4 is the best move here. But it's because we have a very, very big threat. Create the Luft. That's, yeah, create the Luft. That's the main point of playing h4. But can you guess, and this is just guess now, can you guess what Capablanca played here? He didn't play c4 and he didn't play h4. I'll give you... You don't need to calculate it. But can you guess what he played? a4. No, he didn't play a4. He didn't play a4. Rook e3. He didn't play rook e3 either. But it is a rook move. I'm going to give you that hint. It is a rook move. Oh, I forgot I have no more water. I spilled it over my computer. Rook d6. Yes, that's what he played. Rook d6. Boom. This is what he played. Rook takes d6. How do you like this move? It's nice. It's very interesting. Looks very nicely. But it's not the best move. h4 was the best move. And let's see why. Because here rook takes d6. And the idea is that we take on e5. So if bishop takes, we have queen takes, right? And we're hitting here and we're hitting here, and the rook is pinned. There's nothing black can really do to defend everything. There's no rook g6 or anything like that. And there's no discovered because this is mate, unfortunately. So this was the whole idea. But here, black has a defense. How can black defend here? Let me see if I can flip the board for you. No. Not here. It's here. Black. How can black defend here? The only move to not lose the game. No, rook d1 is what he played, but rook d1 loses. Rook d1 leads to the famous tactic. The famous tactic you see in these puzzle books. So let's see why rook d1 doesn't work, yes? Let's do that first, so you see what's going on here. Queen a5. Yeah, queen a5 is the move, but rook d1 doesn't work. So rook d1, and this is probably what he saw, bishop e5. Your turn. And now do you recognize this position now? F4. No, not f4. So, but f4. Why not f4? Because I take on b2, I think, yeah? Or why not f4? I think bishop b2. I think so. e5. And maybe I just play... Maybe I just play f6 there. Knight h6 check. Okay, we go knight h6 check. And then what? King h8. So what's the next move here? Take the bishop. Take the bishop. Queen takes. And then knight f7. Do you recognize this tactic now? It is very famous. Knight takes f7, and here black resign. Because if rook takes, we have rook d8. And it's game over. Very nice. Very nice, starting from rook takes d6 actually. Bishop e5. And here queen a5 was the defense. And now you will see, this is Puzzle Rush. Yeah, it's like Puzzle Rush. So here queen a5 was the defense because we are hitting the rook on e1. And now rook takes queen takes e1 is mate. So that's why we needed to have h4. Never knew it was from this game. Yep, it's from this game. I'm sure that it's in a lot of puzzle books. And I'm very close to 100% that it's in the woodpecker method. I think I recently saw it there. So here bishop c3, bishop takes c3, and yeah, the rook on e8, rook on e1 is almost is again hanging. Pawn takes, rook g6, knight e7, and something like this, where black is fine. So if we go h4 in this position, very clever. Now if black plays something that's probably not rook e8, right? Because if he plays rook e8, my idea doesn't work anymore. But let's play something like a5. No, something that allows a6. Something that allows queen a5. Because now takes, bishop e5, and this is not the same anymore. No, I'll take on f6. and I'll take on g7 next. So I can give up this rook because I have king h2, and then I'll mate on g7. Very nice. We're going to forgive Capablanca for not inserting h4 and playing rook d6, because this is very, very nice as well. And rook d1, which gives us this tactic. There, king h8, here, here, and here. Nice. Okay, and now let's see some endgames. So we have this game between Capablanca and Tartakova. Again, I'm not going to stop in the opening. We have a Dutch here, knight f6, classical Dutch, knight c3, okay, bishop d3, castles, queen e8, queen e2, and knight e4 played. Okay, so here he takes on e7, knight c3, queen e7, and plays a4. Takes on f3. Yeah, I don't think this is forced. Probably black can play knight c6 as well. But okay, this isn't. This is also fine. Knight c6. Maybe he wanted to keep the knight versus the bishop, no? Because the knight on f3 might be more annoying. Rook b1. Queen h3. Okay, this queen h3 here, he starts. It starts already to be very interesting. So here he's putting all his pieces on the queen side. Rook b1, a4. Maybe at some point he wanted to play a5, but now that's no longer the case. And here he plays queen h3 with the idea of pushing f4 and fixing this pawn on e6, because many times black wants to play e5. This is the main idea. e5 doesn't work now because the pawn on f5 is also hanging. So after rook f6, which was played in the game, he goes f4, completely controlling e5. Knight a5, and now he comes back to f3. This position is rather equal, but here black has to find the right plan. So how should black play here? What's the right idea for black? What do we do here if we are black? We don't have the idea of e5 anymore. At least it's not so easy to achieve anymore. Thank you, Pawn March Destroyer. Prepare to push g5. I'm not sure that pushing g5... Does g5 work anymore? It looks a little scary because I'm also opening my king here with black, and white's idea will be e4. Thank you. Black plays for draw. I wouldn't say that black plays for draw. I think black has some idea. Hi, Hugo. I think that black has some ideas, and the idea that black can play for here is quite common in these structures. How do we play against these pawns? e5 doesn't work so well here anymore, and in fact black did play with d6, but it's not so easy to achieve e5. We'll see in the game. Blockade with c5. The Pawn March Destroyer knows. That's why we're called the Pawn March Destroyer, no? Because we have to play with c5 here. We blockade these pawns, and then we are ready to open the c-file whenever we are ready. So maybe one idea for black here would be to play rook c8, and then, nope, not that way, this way, and then take on c4 when our pieces are ready. But this is a very common idea, and it's seen in the Rossolimo many times. Black does the exact same thing if white plays with d4. Black plays with b6, c5, the knight goes to a5, And in the Rosolimo, there's another bishop who can go to a6 and put pressure. But this is a common idea. Oh, and in the Nimso, I think so too, yeah. I think in the Nimso, this is also possible. Why did he lift the rook then? I'm not sure why he played rook f6, to be honest. But let's go back and maybe we can see why he played that. I'm not sure why he played rook f6 here. I also thought that he wants some attack. I was expecting this rook to go somewhere here. But maybe he had a different plan with rook f6. No, it must be rook g6 or rook h6, in my opinion. But maybe he wanted to bring the queen to g5, and once f4 is played, that's no longer possible. I'm not sure, but here rook h6 looks like a natural move, and maybe go for queen h4. But there's not such a big attack, no? Something like queen h4 here. Have to play h3, and here is where you guys were suggesting g5. But on g5, I'm thinking that I'm taking and playing e4. Or not. Here is where you wanted the g5, no? Yeah, I think I'll take and play e4. I'll stand by my suggestion. g5 does look interesting, but here, and I also have an idea of lifting my rook to b5 and bringing some pieces over. Maybe here you can take something on h3 is hanging. Okay, so here you can take, and I don't have queen e4, which was my plan. If queen e4, rook h3. And this is not great, because here I can just go anywhere, but here I would like to go. Okay, so let's go back for a moment. Yeah, that's, I wanted to take with a queen on e4, but if I have to take with the bishop, then rook f8. Yeah. Okay, maybe even here, queen d3. But I agree that there's more counterplay here than with knight a5. Let's ask what this guy says here. So apparently it's equal, this position. Apparently this is equal. And let's see if what we played is correct. So here rook h6, queen f3, and we play here h3 and g5. Yeah, this is all correct. Queen g5, e4. No, not this one. That's one losing. Bishop e4, and here rook f8. Queen d3, and here you wanted to go d5. Yeah, okay, d5 looks good. Yep. Take, and I have to play bishop f3. No, I'll take and play rook b5. No. Yeah, I'll take once, and I'll play rook b5. Can I do that? Because on bishop f3 you take on h3. Oh, you cannot take on h3. I can also play this. You don't have rook h3 because of bishop d5. But how is rook b5? Because if rook b5 works, I'd rather play rook b5. Can I do this? I think I can. I think I can play rook b5. Queen f4 or something. I'll just take on d5. No, but I think that here black definitely got a more active position than in the game. And I agree that the rook on f6 remained kind of knight f7 to 97 to defend. 97 to defend. Okay, 97. Okay, and to whatever c4 you're going to play c6. And I'm losing my bishop. And I have no tactics. If I take on d5 and c4, there's c6. Yeah, I don't like my rook b5 anymore so much. I think I'm just going to go with bishop f3. But bishop f3, okay, you don't have to take on h3. That's not so easy to play, right? Bishop f3, you can play king h8. This is a move that makes sense. And then you want to take on h3. And it's not so simple. Because my rooks are very far away from the action. I don't know what I'm going to do here. I really don't want to play something like king h1 or king h2, but what else? Maybe I can try... Nah, queen b5 still 97. Queen b5, I'm losing the bishop also, which is worse. c4. No, black should be good for sure. Black is definitely fine. If you want, I can ask. Let's see what our friend says. Well, I'm surprised to see that white is slightly better here. I was expecting to see this going slightly in black's favor. Bishop g4 apparently is a good move. This is what I was thinking, but I didn't see where this bishop is going from here. So, yeah. Apparently bishop g4 is good. Followed by rook f1. Okay, if I'm not going to get mated, I think I should have some things to attack here if I can get my pieces in. If I get my pieces in, maybe. And knight a5 and knight c4 looks like a nice idea here for black to improve the knight. Probably I'll play rook f1 anyway. But I agree. Yeah, this is a better way to do things for black here. If he play rook f6, he should probably follow up with rook h6, no? Now if he play knight a5 and I'm going to f3, this c5 makes a lot of sense now. If knight gets to e5, then the attacker is taking over. Yeah. So this is okay. This is the other plan that you can use against the double c pawns. And here, okay, the idea is that if we take, the queen takes on c5, and this is very good for black. This is exactly what black is hoping for. So white shouldn't do this. But for example, rook e1 is a good move here. The idea being that I want to play d5 whenever black plays rook c8. For example, if rook c8, here I'm going to go d5. And pawn takes, queen takes, and the pawn on f5 is hanging, bishop f5. So this would be the idea. of playing rook e1, having everything defended on e3, and waiting for black to do this. But black doesn't have to do this. It's just to show you what white wants here, and black can play g6, for example. We've seen that f5 was weak and the king can go to g7. And yes, the rook on f6 is still awkward. It is still awkward. But he plays d6. So let's see the game. Let's go back to seeing this from white side. He plays d6. And now rook e1. Once d6 is played, e6 becomes vulnerable, and he wants to play e4. And now c5 is not so strong anymore, for example, because I can take, and the queen is not able to take on c5, and black has to take with a pawn, and then, well, that's great for white. It was dangerous when a piece takes. And if knight b3, we can take on d6 in between move. Queen takes, we have rook d1, and everything is defended. So he plays queen d7 here. I think black remained very passive, no? e4. It's possible. I think it's a famous game. Pawn takes, and it's famous for the endgame, not for this middle game part. But the middle game is very interesting. g6. And here he plays g3. I like how, well, in most games that I've seen of Capablanca, I like how he plays all the time with any small advantage. Small or big advantage, he's always taking time to prepare everything. He's always defending everything that could be weak. He's always taking time to improve the pieces, and he's not in a rush to do things. Even in endgames where he has an extra pawn, he doesn't just immediately go and push the pawns, or just, okay, I'm very impatient to promote. No, he's just shuffling the pieces around, finding the best squares for the pieces, taking the opponent's counterplay, and squeezing his opponent, leaving him in a passive position, and then just wins the game. Yeah, he understands the game, how to play. That's why he was a world champion. King f8. And king g2. So you see moves that are just useful. He's not in a rush to do anything. His opponent is already in a slightly uncomfortable position. I don't know if slightly worse, but his pieces are all over the place. And white's pieces are well placed, so he can just improve to the maximum here. Rook f7, and here he also plays h4, because he might play h5 at some point. It doesn't mean that he's going to play h5 right away, but it's there in case he needs it. And here Tartakova plays d5. And this d5 goes into a losing endgame. But what else could he do already at this point? Everyone needs to learn to play h4 and a4, like Capablanca. I don't know what to do here with black. How can I improve my position? Yeah, h5 is an idea, for sure. Maybe even right away. I thought it's not necessarily right away, but maybe. Maybe it's for right away. I'm going to play rook h1 and take on h5. And then h7 is weak. So maybe he is actually threatening h5 immediately. d5 by black. Yeah, but the endgame is losing. Maybe queen e5 is also nice. So you want to play queen e5 because I don't have king g8. Okay, I don't have king g8, but can I take on c4? Or is that... I can take on c4, right? And the knight on a5 is not going to be so stupid anymore. I can take on c4. And I think I will. The check on h8, I play king e7. And I'm going here where it's nice and warm. And nobody's attacking me. Bishop c4, pawn takes, queen h8, king e7. There's no time for any funny d5 moves. I don't think so. I don't think anything can be played here. I think just c takes d5 has to be played. E takes and queen takes e8. Takes, king e8, and here we go. Here we have the endgame. What's the first move that we play here with white? h5. Yeah, that's why we played h4, of course. We want to create a weakness. And if pawn takes h5, we will always have rook h1. So he plays rook f6. King f3 to activate the king. Maybe you can get away with king f3 as well. But if you play king f3, I don't think... Can you still play h5 next? I will have g5. I think h5 makes a lot of sense. If we play this, we need to create a weakness to attack. And that weakness is going to be on g6. So rook f6, takes, and rook h1. And that's how we activate our pieces. King f8 and rook h7. Rook c6. And here he plays g4. It's very nice how he plays this endgame. G4 is the best move here. So I was looking what else can white play here besides g4. And I also imagine that this can be a plan. So why am I not taking my king all the way to g5? And I'm not taking my king all the way to g5 because it seems that black can find some counterplay here. So I go to g4 and here knight d2. So he's just in time to play knight e4. I play king g5, but that's not going to help me. Knight e4. And if I have to take pawn takes, at this point black already has counterplay. I don't know if this is still... I don't think here white is still better. I think here is... it's complicated. Maybe just equal. Oh, really? Someone showed this in a YouTube video a couple of weeks ago. I didn't know that. So I should have gone with another game. That's okay, there are more games. Yeah, so this is already too much counterplay for black. So king h3 doesn't help a lot. King h3, king g4, and king g5. So he goes g4. And the point is that he will play g5. He will fix this weakness here on g6. And when that one is fixed, I think he can also have ideas with f5 in some positions. Not right now, but sometimes f5 can be played. And when he takes g6, the pawns will already be advanced, no? Then they will be very dangerous. So here, for example, the move rook takes c3 would be a mistake because we take on g6 and we have these two powerful pawns. Let's say knight c4. Now we just shouldn't take on c7. Just don't do that because we lose the rook and the game. But we play g5 according to the plan. And here there's a check. There's another check and another check, but that's it. That's about it. And we're going to play f5, f6, and if rook e7, I think that we're happy to go for this. And on c5, okay, on c5, how do we play with white? Yeah, king h3, I also thought that king h3 is more natural than playing g4. Because g4, after g4 and g5, my king is not able to go and attack the pawn on g6. But king h3 seems to be difficult, yeah. I don't know, he probably saw this, king h3, and he probably saw the idea of knight d2 and knight d4, or was it just instinct? I don't know. What do you think? Maybe this was just natural to him, and playing by the principles, you have a weakness, you fix it, and then you take it. It's just the way to always go. You think he saw everything? He probably saw everything. So how do we play here with white? Because it looks easy, but maybe it's not so easy. And the two pawns look very dangerous, but one mistake and I think black can make a draw. I also want to be able to see everything. a5 or king c3. Okay, and on a5, because here what I want to do with black. So my idea was that maybe I can somehow trade all the pawns. And a5 might just be helping me. What if I take on d4 and take on a5 later? Maybe you don't need to play a5, but maybe king c3. Maybe king c3 is a useful move. I don't see what I can immediately do against king c3, and it's just improving the king. My idea was that I would play maybe also c4. That was the other plan. Maybe I play c4 and get a passed pawn. But yeah, maybe I'm not able to do that. But bishop h6, h5 seems easier, no? Bishop h5 seems very easy. Make this knight go away and then play f6. And the pawns are just advancing. King f8. And here bishop f3 is the simple way. Take d5, the knight is cut off, and then you can push the pawns. This looks good too, and it's so simple, no? Why do we complicate our lives? And if knight e4, yeah, we can just take and play and take here, yeah, take here and king d3, and we take all the pawns. We take e4, we take c5, and then we get a queen. So, okay, basically rook takes c3 doesn't work because these two pawns will be very powerful, and that was just a line to illustrate that. And in the game, black played knight c4, which is the best try. g5, he goes knight e3, king f3, and now question, where should this knight go? Where should this knight go here? After knight e3, what should black do to stay in the game? To d1. Anybody else wants to vote? D1 or not D1? Everybody wants to go to D1. Nice. Yes, we have to go to D1. We have to go to D1. But that's just intuition, no? Because I think if you calculate, it's not so obvious. Next move is rook h6, and I'm going to take the pawn on g6. Knight e1, c3, e4. Well, so okay, let's see. Knight e1, the idea is that I play rook h6. So the whole knight c3 idea might not be enough because I'll take on g6 and push my pawns again. Threatening knight a4 as well, I agree. Threatening knight a4? Yeah, threatening knight a4. I don't have bishop b5. So on knight c3 I have two moves. I can take on g6 or I can play f5. Which one do I go for? I think I'll take on g6. I would take on g6, I think. This is the most natural. King g7, yeah, king g7 is the move that I have here. And we'll see it in a moment. You will need your own passed pawns. I do agree with that, but aren't mine a little more scary? A little scarier, actually. I can play f5 here and f6. I don't know. Bishop h5 and g6 and g7. 1, 2, 3, just 3 moves. 4 moves. And here, I know, knight c3. Okay, that pawn is also advancing quite fast. So knight c3 here, I guess. And this can also be an idea to pick up my pawns. So I'll play f6 and a5 maybe. And now what? I can play bishop h5, a4, g6, a3, g7, king here, bishop g4, a2, bishop e6. I'm first, right? I'm first. So I go bishop h5. I'm just calculating if the pawn advances. I'm not looking at other options. Maybe there are other options, but I'm just looking at this, and bishop a6 and a2 here, and I think I should be mating. Yep. So okay, there are other options. Bishop h7. No, but I'm not going to h7. No, I think I was going to h5 all the time. a5, bishop here. Okay, if the knight has to... Oh, but there's 94 here. Wait, there's 94 here. No, this is probably annoying. Yep, 94 is annoying. King f4, and then a4. Okay. Maybe I can play king f4 and bring my bishop back when you go a4. Yeah, bishop h5, 94, and if here on, I don't know, a4, bishop d1, a3, bishop b3, I should go bishop c2. I think I should go bishop c2, and what happens on king f7? This is the move that I didn't like. If king f7, I should go king f4. But what about this check? King e5. Okay. And on a4, I will advance. And here, and I advance. And here. Yeah, let's go here. And I go here. Or should I play bishop b3 already? I think I should play bishop b3 and take this pawn. If it goes here, I'll take it, and king e6. And I don't think the knight... Well, the knight is coming back. No, it's not. The knight is not coming back. And I have f7, f8. Yeah. Probably there are some mistakes on the way, but this could be an idea, no? This is probably the idea. Push the king and give up the bishop for the other one. So why not king h7 then? Why give up this pawn? why not king g7 here? Sorry, with king g7 we have f5, and this was the whole idea. So what to do here with black then? Because black still has a chance here. It's not so easy, I think. Knight c3, I want to push the king, or play, yeah, push the king, actually. With knight c3, I don't have f6 because of rook takes f6, but I can go king f4. And here, I want to play f6. For example, if black plays rook d6 to unpin the pawn, I play f6. And now if rook takes f6, I've won a tempo compared to the other line, and play king e5. So I'm going to promote the pawn. And if rook takes c3, I will play f6. And this is also very bad. So here, the only move to make the draw is knight b2. I have to move my bishop and rook c3. And king f4, and here take. Bishop takes, and here we have some checks. King d3. And if king g4, check. And if king h4, we have rook f3, and here just don't play bishop c2 because you might get mated. Rook h3, so there's still room to lose the game in this position. But here white has a perpetual himself. So here checks, 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 and so on. And I think he could have taken a perpetual earlier. Like here, he can just go to f4, and this is probably a draw right here. So yeah, this was the way for black to save the game. But I don't think it's so obvious. 91 makes sense because you want to be active, but I think the rest is not so obvious. With knight b2, there's still a lot of room to go wrong. And he went knight f5 in the game, and knight f5 loses. Bishop takes f5, pawn takes, and this is the idea. Which nowadays is very common, I think, in rook endgames. You just push the king all the way up. Is rook f6 too good to be true? When I play rook h6. Oh, wait, what? Rook f6. No, not here, no? After king g7. f5, rook f6. Too good to be true, yeah, I think so. I think it's too good to be true. I'll just take everything here. It doesn't look like it. g7. Was it here? I think so, because I don't have any other moment to play it. Yeah. Okay, so knight f5, takes. I cannot progress? No? Wait, what, here? Why not? I'll play g7. In this position? Maybe not this position, no? If knight c3, I'll play g7. Yeah. Okay, so here, knight f5. And let's see this. Pawn takes. And here we go king g3. So the point is to go all the way to f6, no? And this is often seen in rook endgames, that the opponent's pawn is the one that's sheltering you. Here, black would be happy to give up the pawn on f5 and not allow the king all the way to f6, because once the king gets to f6, it's really bad. Now rook h8 is a threat. Checkmate, king g8, and now he goes rook g7. I think he can also take on c7 right away, but he's just winning some time here. King h8 and takes on c7, threatening mate again. Rook e8, and now he takes this pawn. So here if rook e1, well, he actually plays rook e4, which is similar, rook f6, and the idea is that we go after the other pawn, king e5. Rook g4 and g7. And this is a bad idea because the pawn endgame is lost. King takes and king takes d5, and we're just going to promote the pawn on the d file. So g7, king g8, and now he takes another pawn here and takes another pawn here. Rook c1 and advance and advance and wait, because he's waiting for us to play king d7, but that's not going to happen, is it? He wants us to keep advancing so he can take the pawn, or play king e6 so he can give a check, and then we have to come back. But rook c7, and the idea is that now white can pass the king. Also very common in rook endgames. You use the rook to gain more space. And d6. And here black resigned. Very nice game, I think. And if it has been shown before, I apologize, I didn't know. But I don't think I had seen it before. I found it very instructive. I'll try to find some less famous games for the next one and show you some games that you haven't seen. There's a very famous game that you might know, but I think I'll include that one as well. It's always good to see these ideas again. They're very, very instructive. And that's it for today. 2 games for today, and we'll see more sometime soon, I hope. I don't know when yet, but I will be back. Thank you for the subscription. Thank you. See you soon. Some racer before the end of stream. Okay, let's play some puzzle racer. Okay, let's play one. And hold on a second, because I have the other one, which was all nice. Okay, let's play a puzzle storm first. Wait. Let's play a puzzle racer. No, puzzle racer. We said yes. So puzzle racer. Race my friends. Let me race my friends, and I'm going to look at that. No, why are you going black again? Why is it always going black? Why? Why go black? Okay, there we go. Not really. Now it's good. Finally. Okay, and now I'm going to give you the link. But this is addictive. This is very addictive. I'm going to play one, and then I'm going to play another one. But okay. 10 more minutes maximum. So who wants to join? Nobody wants to join? I have been fooled. Okay, great. Nobody else wants to play a puzzle racer? Nobody else wants to play a puzzle racer? No? Last chance? Okay. Abriñas. Good. Welcome. Nobody else? Last chance? We have one more participant. Anybody else? Anybody else? Nobody else? Let's go. I'm going to start the race. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's see what we have here. What do we do here? We take this one. And here we take this one. And now we're going to give a check and take the queen. And here we are going to... what? Yeah, it wasn't that, for sure it wasn't that. Okay, and here, and now I'll play check, and here I will go check and take. Oh, I'm so far behind. That is not nice, but okay, it's fine. That's a tap. What if I take? I lose that one. I don't lose that one. And here I will go for, what do I go for here? For this one, and then this one, and then this one. And then here I will go for... no, not that one. Okay. Why not? I could have taken that way too. 36. Okay. Pawn march. Destroyer. Nicely done. I lost my training. But this was not... We didn't get very high scores, did we? 35, 36, 34. We're all very close here. And 45. Okay, one more. Why didn't we get high scores? What happened with this puzzle racer? Why are they giving us difficult puzzles? Don't they know that it's late? And we're not up for difficult puzzles. We just want to see knight takes c7 check and takes rook on e8. That's all we want. Okay, let's start the race. It's only the four of us. This is what we need. And this is what we need. And this is what we need. This is the kind of puzzles that we're here for. Not for anything else. And just take a rook. Yeah, that's more like it. And give checkmate. And do this. And do that. And do that. And here do that. And mate. And this. Right? This is friendlier. I'll take here and I'll take here now. And now I'll take here and give it checkmate. And now I'll play h5. Run. And now I will trap the queen. Of course. What about now? Check, check, check. Okay, I'll give the check, I'll give the check, I'll give the check. Okay, thank God. And now I'll take this rook. One take here. And take the knight. And that's a rook there that I can take. And then I'll take here, and then I'll take here. And now I can take here and do this and do that. And now I can play here and play knight f6, and you're not going to like it. 57. Yeah, that's more like it. I won this race. Tequila or margarita would help a lot. 57 to 54, very tight again. Rudely beating you. Not that rudely. It's only 3 points. 3 points difference. And the last one. We said 10 minutes. Last one. This one was friendlier than the one before. The one before was very annoying. Okay, let's go. We're missing 2 participants. Wait, what? You didn't go for that tequila, did you? No. Okay, we lost someone on the way. We lost someone on the way. It looks like we did. So, shall we start? Before it's too late, let's start. So, I'm taking this. Thank you. Doing that. Well, that took me a while. And now I'm taking that and doing that and doing that and doing that and doing that. And here I'm doing that. And now I'm just confused. Now, oh, I'm not confused anymore. I take it back. And now that's a queen that I have to take and get a queen myself. And now this I'll take and this I'll take. And here that I'll take and this I'll take. And now that's a pawn that I want to promote. But I'll take here and play here. Wait, what? I can just move my king away. And here I will, of course, go away all the way. And now I will play f5 and take the rook. And here I'll take the rook. Thank you very much. And I'll just go after the pawns. No? I could have taken something for sure. Now I'll trap the... Oops. Looks like I wasn't trapping anything. And here I'll do this. Nope, not doing that. Looks like... Okay, how are we doing? Look at that, 63. And you're saying that you didn't go for that tequila? 63. That is rudely beating me. That is actually rudely beating me. Oh, there was some more water here on my phone. I was so worried about my computer that I didn't check the rest of the appliances. The phone seems okay, though. Nice. Nicely done. Okay. So, that's it then for tonight. Enough with the puzzle racers. Blame the water. Yes, of course it's the water. I have to go and train for this, for the next puzzle racer. I have to really train for this. Okay, so thank you again very much for joining me today, and I'm going to go get some rest now and clean my appliances of water, dry everything. I'm going to put my laptop next to the heating and hope it will still turn on tomorrow. Thank you, have a good night, and see you soon, sometime this week. My eyes from tears. I will do that. It's not showing, but they're all... Okay, thank you. That's it. Goodbye. It's really goodbye now.